Cabin Fever, 4K, 24 years after shooting. In the bidding war, you just assume the movie's done. I mean, we're mixed. And then Lionsgate said, we want to open up the cut and take some time out, and I reacted very badly to that. But I was very emotional, and I thought the movie was fine, and it was done. And rewatching the director's cut now, I think the director's cut is better. I think if you're in this movie, you're along for the ride. But I understand, they had a lot of money invested, and they wanted to make sure they made it back.
Right here next to Big Bone Lick.
I would see that.
But it was great to watch that director's cut. I still had the print. Tarantino runs it at the New Beverly, and now we have the director's cut in 4K. So that, to me, is the definitive version.
Pancakes! Pancakes!
No pancakes.
Pancakes!
No pancakes!
With a remaster, there were certain details that I felt had gotten lost in printing and in transfers, like especially the scene in the cave with Justin. I felt like you could never really tell that it was me. You know, I could never get that you tripped over a thing, you revealed, oh, there's half the body. What is this? Half there, oh my God, I just tripped over his legs. Like, I could never photograph it the way I wanted. It was too dark. The bleach bypass at 75% made it way too contrasty. You could never see the worms in my ear. So that was the stuff I wanted to fix.
You want to just do this shot or the
Well, I think
scene?
this side,
This side.
we could punch it, push up a little bit, but I always felt like, you know, the
Yeah.
two of them got lost, and it's nice, but if we could brighten it a touch.
Sure. I have the range to go a little bit more.
There, and maybe on the reverse on it. We can look at him, but it's fun to see the detail in the story. Yeah.
But then going back and looking at some of the scenes like on the lake with Ryder and Jordan when they're on the raft, I really wanted to warm that up. I never got that to feel sunny. It was like a cold fall afternoon, and it feels that way from the light, but we could just warm it up a touch, matching light in certain things, but pulling out certain details, the details in the makeup. Like for me, I was always frustrated that I didn't go far enough in the makeup on when we first see the hermit, when he's like got the disease in his eyes. You could really bring out his eyes.
I'm sick. I need help.
You could really see the beautiful work that Garrett Immel did in K&B on the flesh when he's at the door. Sometimes you could see that he was sick, and we use sound effects and stuff, but sometimes if the print was dark, you couldn't really enjoy it. So now here you could really see every pore, you know, in the gore. You can really see his flesh, that there's progression from the afternoon to that night. So that was the kind of stuff I got to do, is that anywhere you could see the disease, we could really dial it in and bring out the color in Marcy's back and in her legs and all that stuff. So, you know, when he peels back and shows the virus on Jordan's legs, showing that. So I just seeing that in detail, the way I could from the camera negative, was so satisfying. All the beautiful artistry and work that went into it makes it much, much, much more effective.
We want to get a little bit more.
You want to go a little brighter with that?
Yes.
It's pretty dark on the reference, but we can lift it a little bit more because it's a negative, so I have that.
Lift
I
it a
have that
little bit.
range. So if I go a little bit brighter here, you know, we can go a little more like this. We don't have to go that dark. I have quite a bit of range, as you can see. Do you like that better to see some more detail in his jacket?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, let's see how that looks.
But it is tricky, you know, you just assume that someone else is taking care of this stuff. But a lot of elements get lost. You know, people can't find original negative. We had done a director's cut Blu-ray a while back, so I remember looking for this stuff and having trouble finding it. But finding that original camera negative, you know, thank God for like Stephanie and everyone at Lionsgate. Stephanie went digging. It was an expedition to find the original elements.
1B roll, original Super 5C, 8/19/2002 domestic.
And I'm so happy that they had them, because you think it's there and that's where it is. Then you realize it's over 20 years later, and there's been other movies made. You know, back then at Lionsgate, they only released 4 movies a year. It wasn't a big deal. There's that one now. They're a pretty big studio now. So, you know, Your stuff wasn't as well taken care of as maybe you had imagined, but they were all there. They found everything. And the fact that it was shot photochemically and not on some old hard drive really saved the movie. You know, a lot of those movies in the mid-2000s are gone because the hard drives froze up. They thought, oh, it's digital, put it on a drive. Well, what happens when the drive freezes? That's it. So now we could go back and scan it and have it 4K and have it like nice and beautiful. Oh, it was fun remixing. You know, I used to hate when directors went in and tweaked their movies, and I don't necessarily consider this tweaking it, but it's bringing it to the level that I always wanted it at. The Atmos and the 4K will be the ultimate in picture and sound.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Dolby Atmos with 4K picture.
Yeah, and then once you approve and any notes that you give him that he'll incorporate into the Atmos, once that's done, he will extract a 7.1 from your approved Atmos and we'll place that on the DCP.
Yeah.
So the DCP
Amazing. So DCP will have a
so everything we've done here, the DCP will match.
Amazing. You know, just where there's certain things, if something hit really hard in the center and jarred you in the wrong way, you could just spread it out into the sides and have things above you and below you and really make it a fully immersive experience. You know, I have an Atmos speaker system at my house, and I love when it's in the ceiling and the floor and you feel completely surrounded by sound. And that's part of the fun of the movie, is getting lost in the woods with these kids, and now you can really feel that way. Well, I felt like all the little details that we spent, you know, hours, countless hours putting in, you could really hear it. You could really, really, really hear it. Because my battle in movie theaters was like going and go, make it louder, make it louder, make it louder. And, you know, that would blow out their speakers or it just wouldn't sound as good. But, and obviously this is a pretty good room. But, you know, home systems are so good. I want people to get that full experience. But it was the first time that there were certain things like, I know when you were like, oh, I kind of spread out the sound. I was like, no, I got it. Feeling stuff above you and feeling the bugs all around you. Yeah. But that was really great. You know, because I've been so used to seeing it there or in the rears or in the side, but like really feeling the full Atmos mix. It's how I experienced it when I was making it. And it's what I heard in my head, in my mind's ear. So really seeing what he did, it didn't change it, but it did enhance it. And it smoothed out certain things that always bumped me. Like some of those hits were just a little bit too powerful. And the perspective when like the yelling and the echoing and things like that, it's amazing. It's a fully immersive experience. You fully get lost in the movie. It did feel when we did that Atmos mix with the 4K sound, I was like, we finally finished it. The movie feels done now.